BC, how are we? Thanks for tuning in again, Station Vinyl Boy Trio. Today's video is going to be a contest response for Billy, the Thrustmeister Hurst. It's 500 VC subs. Though he's on like 2,500, but 500 VCers and counting. So his theme is 4 albums from Billy's birth year, 1974. He's a spring chicken. 4 albums from my birth year, 1973. So I'm your elder Billy, so you better listen. And 4 country albums. Now I'm sure you all know Billy, the Thrustmeister. But you know, very talented guy, very down-to-earth, cool dude. Obviously he's got released an album. He's a country singer, plays his guitar and twangs away. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's called, but you know, go to his station, you know him anyway, and lots of people have bought the albums, I think, and he even signs them for you. Country singer, so cool, and he's a VC member who has released an album, cool, which there is several of those, isn't there, out there, so very talented people here. So he's a musician, he's also a sports photographer as well, and as I said, a cool dude. So, 1973. This is one of the questions in the recent tag. Favourite album from my birth year and one of my favourite albums of all time. Do not need to say anything else. A bit of Paul Simon. Yeah, this is a cool album. Now I had quite a lot of albums in the 71, like albums that I loved, and I pulled them out and said, oh, this is going to be close to 73. But I was set in 1971. I had quite a lot that I really loved in 75. So there was a moderate amount in the 73s, but I think more. I'm not quite in those in 73. I had a lot of favourite albums. Hope that made sense. So Paul Simon's. There goes Ryman Simon. Cool album. I love Paul Simon. I love Simon and Garfunkel. I love art. But I think solo I prefer a bit of Paul. And Kodachrome, her most famous song, but my favourite song on this is One Man's Ceiling is Another Man's Floor. Just a great line and a great song. So that's 2 from 1973. Just a classic album. Elton John. You know, he doesn't get talked about a lot in the VC, but, you know, this is an absolute damn classic album. Love that cover. Just with his platform and his piano there. What can you say? He's got some of his biggest smashing hits. One of the biggest selling artists ever. So, you know. Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets. Starts off with a great instrumental, Funeral for a Friend. You know, I don't need to tell you this stuff, you know all this stuff. But, yeah, so another 1973, one of my favourites. And a bit of Clapton. I think a few people have shown this, 461 Ocean Boulevard. This is probably one of the first albums I bought from a record store. I've only been collecting three-ish years, seriously. And you know, pretty much all my stuff was just from charity stores, but when I ventured into a record store and I saw this, yeah, that's coming home with me. Love Clapton, and yeah, they came home with me, and will stay home with me. Alright, so, from the only very recent 1974, 4 albums from that. Band on the Run, what a classic album. Brilliant. Just reading a little bit about it, actually, I never noticed that. I mean, it's got Paul, Linda, and what's his name? Denny Lane, who, because this was recorded mostly in Nigeria because he wanted to do it in an exotic location. Paul did, so, but there was problems that some of the members happened. So Paul did drums as well and a few other things, played a few instruments. But there's famous people on here as well, and I don't really know them, but one definitely I know is, and you guys all and girls will, I'm sure will know, is Parko, Michael Parkinson, from the talk show host, journalist. There he is. Cool. That's pretty cool. And the other people, I'm sure you might know, but I don't know them. Anyway, so great album, you know. Obviously the massive hits of Jet and Band on the Run, which I absolutely love that song. Just love how it just changes tempo. Like songs like that. And yeah, so 1974, I think I got this right. Yeah, 1974, pretty sure. From your birth year, Billy. Neil Young, just great. On the Beach, great album. Now I think you can actually, some of them got the sort of the cover from the front continues into the inside, but mine doesn't do that actually, unfortunately. But yeah, great bluesy album. You know, when you got songs like Revolution Blues, Vampire Blues, Ambulance Blues, you're gonna have some bluesy feel about it. Cool album, 1974. An absolutely brilliant live album. This is a great album. Lou Reed, rock and roll animal. He is a rock and roll animal. Just a brilliant live album. The guitars from Steve Hunter, isn't it? Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner, just brilliant, and just great. A great live album. This is a must for anyone's collection, I believe. So great songs: Sweet Jane, Heroin, White Light, White Heat, Rock and Roll. Okay, and then the other part was, so 4 from either our years, birth years, and oh, sorry, I missed the last one for 1974. Bit of Bad Company. This is such a great sounding album. Great album. Just love some of those songs, the riffs, just the sound of it. Bad Company. Right, now, so Billy's a big country head, plus all other genres, but he plays country music and he wants to see 4 of our favourite country, I think it was an artist, or I think it was artists, I don't think it was actually albums. Could be wrong there. Sorry, Billy, if I am. I've got not a huge into country, but definitely I like it, and I've got several, maybe 10, 20 country albums in my collection. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. You know, so Kenny Rogers, what can you say? Just all over the radio, just famous. Commercially very famous, obviously, but you know, there's some great sounding songs. You know, The Gambler, what a smasher. You know, We Got Tonight, just big hits, and one of my favourite of his is Coward of the Country. Just great listening stuff. So Kenny Rogers. This one's not quite totally in the country sort of genre. Carl Perkins, this is something I bought recently, but he put the country into rock and roll. More rockabilly guy, but put that country sort of feel into rock and roll. And there's definitely a country feel about this as well. Beautiful. I mean, lots of people covered him. He was on the famous Sun label with Johnny Cash, which, you know, you could never get tired of seeing. If you can see that right way up. And people like, you know, Jimi Hendrix and Elvis, obviously Blue Suede Shoes covered his songs. Johnny Cash covered his songs. Carl Perkins, so not totally in the country, but there's definitely that feel about it. Love it. Love his voice and love his little licks and ticks. Okay, Johnny Cash, you got to include him. Like, I think even if you're not a country person, you have got at least one Johnny Cash in your collection. You know, you could have shown anything. Just great sounding stuff. Like, you know, what are you gonna? What else can you say? I mean, there's just a great musician. Often a bit of a somber, sort of sorrowish sort of feel about his songs. Just talking about life and making mistakes and having to pay for it, but also humorous songs like The Boy Called Sue. Johnny Cash. And probably my favourite country album, which is and playing in the background, Johnny Williamson. It's an Australian country singer. Now, I'm giving him a lot of airplay lately, but because I actually met him and he just totally ignored me. But I'm giving him a lot more airplay than he gave me time. give me a lot more time than gave me. But anyway, I actually bought this album quite a few years ago on CD because of this song. It's quite a famous Australian song, True Blue, which True Blue means just true Aussie. Dinky-dyed, true blue Aussie. Like eating Vegemite and standing up for your mates, and, you know, there's more to it than that, I think. But, just a great album. So I don't know if you know much Aussie country stuff, Billy. Slim Dusty's the most famous Aussie country singer, but Johnny Williamson, so check him out. True Blue's a great song, and another great song is the Diamantina Drover. Check out that one maybe, Diamantina Drover, Johnny Williamson. But anyway, so that's my country collection. Now, what I'd like to see from Billy is also maybe do a song on one of his next albums about the VC. You know, I'm sure you might need a little bit of material, so why not? A bit of VC song. Alright, there you go, that's for Billy. Hope everyone is well. Congrats Billy, you're a great guy. Keep doing the same stuff. It's a great channel and cool dude, and keep licking and twanging and... okay, I better go.